I hope the previous week was especially kind to you. I hope that that weekend was full of getting things done, experiencing that rush of energy. So we will go forward today, checking out the week ahead of us. All right, let me just shuffle these cards a little bit more. And alrighty. So we got Monday by my jackalope there, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Let's slide these over a little bit. Friday, Saturday. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Let's do this. This might be a little easier for you guys. Saturday and then Sunday. Okay? So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So that'll be it for the week. All right, let's see what Monday has for us. All right, so Monday we have the Knight of Pentacles. So, the Knight of Pentacles. On Monday, you might be visited by a man or be visited, if you will, by the idea that a journey or an action must be taking place. If it is a person, usually it's someone who is fairly wealthy on his own accord. But not someone who's stingy. They're someone who likes to use their fortunes to explore the world, so to speak. They view their fortune as being very freeing, for instance, rather than becoming like a miser, penny pincher, what have you. So the Knight of Pentacles, whether that's an actual literal person in your life coming forward on Monday or kind of a notion to forego materialistic things and look more towards gathering experiences and exploring avenues of thought and exercises that don't really necessarily enrich you physically, but they will spiritually and emotionally. So on Monday, yeah, take some time to explore that. Even though you might be thinking, oh, it's a waste of time, I'm not making any money from this or what have you, the Knight of Pentacles is very much telling you to ignore those thoughts. There's more to living than just accumulating wealth. Okay, so let's go to Tuesday. Okay, so Tuesday we have the reverse Page of Wands. So the reverse Page of Wands, it's telling you on Tuesday that you shouldn't really worry about, your image or what have you, but rather look towards what good you can do in the world. It means when it's reversed that you're kind of preoccupied with how something is going to make you look as opposed to what you can accomplish with it. So on Tuesday, you might be called to be the quote-unquote sacrificial lamb, so to speak, for the greater good kind of thing. Now, that doesn't mean you're literally going to be sacrificed on an altar or what have you, but it could be that you might be called to do something that might be a little bit embarrassing for you or something that you're normally very shy about doing. But by doing that, you know that it's actually for the best, at least for the group as a whole, so to speak. So on Tuesday, definitely keep that in mind if someone asks you to do something that is, innately very important, but you're just very preoccupied with how it's going to make you look. Well, I mean, it's one of those things where you kind of got to balance it, but truth be told, it's best in this situation to kind of plug your nose up and take a dive, right? And so you will definitely flourish as an individual if you're able to do that. Going forward to Wednesday, we have the reverse Hermit. Now, on Wednesday, the Reverse Hermit basically tells you that you're kind of resisting a period of growth. You are clinging very much to the old ways rather than embrace new ones. You essentially, on Wednesday, you're going to feel basically a large change is going to come your way, and you are going to kind of feel a bit along the waves, so to speak. And it feels almost like a sink or swim, like you're drowning. You really don't want this change to happen, but I hate to break it to you, this change, whatever it is, it's going to happen with or without you. So it's definitely better to be with it than against it. Now, that's not to say completely abandon the old ways of thought. Those are definitely, they still exist as cornerstones, as foundations for these new concepts, whatever they may be. But it's not to completely forget them, but it's all about growing, incorporating, and adding the new to the old, in my opinion. So on Wednesday, yeah, you're gonna feel something's gonna happen, or someone is going to suggest doing something that's kind of out of the ordinary for you. You might get that sudden gut feeling like, yeah, that's not how we do things. Well, when you do get that feeling on Wednesday, take a second and reflect on the Reverse Hermit there and think, okay, am I just resisting this just because I'm so tied to the old ways and just don't want to think about anything new? Or is there a legitimate reason to be resisting this? Now, yeah, because that's not to say you need to accept any brand new idea that comes forward, but the Reverse Hermit is definitely someone who is more clinging to the past for the past's sake, rather than acknowledging new ideas and, comparing, contrasting their effectiveness. Going to Thursday, the Reverse Star. So the Reverse Star on Thursday. Basically, the star reversed shows that you're kind of feeling like you're becoming a bit of a loner. You're kind of being kept out of the loop. You're feeling that you're kind of useless. On Thursday, it could be that you feel like you're brushed aside, even though you do have skills, abilities, talents to do something. Thursday, you're going to kind of feel a sense that you're underappreciated, undervalued. Best bet in terms of being able to handle that, and again, you're going to feel like clumsy, possibly. You're going to start doubting your talents, your abilities. Best bet for Thursday, and I know I do recommend it a lot, but meditation really does help. Some self-reflection. The Reverse Star, like I mentioned, you're feeling like either your skills are inadequate, or you're feeling like you're not being either challenged or recognized enough. Take a moment to see if you really are in the position that you want to be, because it could be that your skills, your talents, where you're putting them towards, aren't necessarily where you should be putting them towards. Case in point, you could study, for example, journalism, thinking you're going into a newspaper, but it turns out that your true calling is a fashion magazine. Now, that's just one example that I'm saying, but they have similar skills that are used in them. It's just they're put towards different purposes. So perhaps your true calling, it could be similar to what you're doing now, but it doesn't hurt to take a self-reflection and see what other options are out there in terms of where to put your skills. On Friday, we have the Five of Cups. Okay, so Friday, the Five of Cups. Usually the Five of Cups is kind of like an aftermath sort of card. The Five of Cups, definitely, it can range from after a large fight with a spouse, to large fight with friends, to even being hungover or what have you, right? Friday, yeah, it's essentially the garbage, what have you, the trash is just all laid out there, and you're just waking up, you're like, oh boy, what the heck happened last night? Whether that's, having to do with drinking, or just even realizing, oh man, I was a bit of a jerk last night, or, oh, I can't believe she said that to me, or, what have you. Essentially, it's telling you that on Friday, you're going to be a little disoriented. You're going to feel quite lost in terms of relationships, especially given it's cups. You are definitely going to have to pick up the pieces a little bit. So whatever happens between this right here on Thursday, the reverse star, to on Friday, there's going to be a bit of a conflict going on there. Could be someone, telling you what to do, and you telling them, no, it's not really what you want to do, etc., etc. Not to say that Friday's going to be completely bad, but this Friday, it's not going to be a relaxed day. Definitely, you are going to have to pick up the pieces, so to speak, whether that's pertaining to a relationship, or yourself after a fun night partying. Because it could, like, how I said, it doesn't necessarily have to be like a big huge fight with someone. It could be that you finally decide your true calling on Thursday after some self-reflection, decide to go out to party, to celebrate, and then that's the morning after, right? Obviously, it depends on the individual, but for Friday, yeah, it's a day to either pick up the pieces literally or emotionally, relationship-wise. Going on to Saturday, okay, we've got the Six of Swords. So, the Six of Swords. Six of Swords, I like to call that card basically the kind of logic card, so to speak. The Six of Swords is definitely about applying reason and order to things. Basically, it's telling you on Saturday, you're going to be called to kind of think logically, think reasonably, with your gut instincts, so to speak. Not with your gut instincks. This is going to be you thinking things out from a scientific, from a logical perspective. Saturday definitely is not a day for gut instincts. Saturday is definitely, sifting through the falsehoods and finding the facts and delivering those facts. It's definitely a day to try and stay level-headed, to make sure that things go according to plan, and that things aren't derailed by random whims. Usually I like to recommend to, trust your gut and whatnot. This is more of a day to trust your brain. Saturday is definitely a big brain day. And finally, moving on to Sunday, we have the King of Swords. So the King of Swords on Sunday, very masculine card, a lot of masculine energy from it. Essentially, the King of Swords is someone who is very wise when it comes to arguments and decision making. King of Swords is no stranger to conflict. He prefers to discover common grounds. It's very much like a mediator type card. The King of Swords, he might appear to be kind of cool and detached. So what it's telling you, essentially, long story short, is that this kind of reason, this kind of level-headedness, this decisive actions, decisive proper actions, this could possibly be a continuation of Saturday. So whatever happens on Saturday, this is probably a continuation of it to kind of solve, I feel, whatever conflict happened. That might even incorporate whatever happened on Friday here with the aftermath kind of thing, right? Pick up the pieces. This is kind of like a logic. I'd assume logically kind of figuring out, okay, what happened? Why did this argument happen? if it's, on the negative side. Alternatively, it's on the positive side. You've got, oh, hey, I discovered my true calling in life. Party. Okay, I'm a bit hungover in the morning. All right, time to pick up the pieces. Okay, time to actually set a plan going forward, how I'm going to take my new career path or what have you. And then this right here could be convincing others of your decision. Basically, the King of Swords, on Sunday, be prepared to defend your position, whatever it may be, whatever it might relate to. The King of Swords definitely calls for a kind of, like I mentioned before, a seeking of common ground. All in all, a pretty interesting week. It does have its ups and downs. But I wish you all the best, and I will send lots of positive energy your way. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next week.